Blades fans. Oh, God. So close, yet so far. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What an end to a game. Like, yes, we lost it. We lost 2-1 to the best team in Europe, in the country, the world. Let's be honest. Man City right now are the best team in the world. And we took them so very close. We almost took a point off them, which is, well, we nearly took 2 points off them, didn't we? But we nearly got ourselves a point. That's the closest we've been to getting anything from Man City or Liverpool aren't a big team anymore. But Man City, that's the closest we've been to taking a point off Man City since they were good, let's be honest. So yeah, we lost the game 2-1. We were looking like we were going to try and see it out 0-0. They had some big chances. They did not take them. We defended very well for the most part. But they're always going to catch you. They're going to get you at some point, aren't they? They've got hundreds. How many? How many millions have they got on the pitch and on the bench and injured? They've got a lot. And it's going to be very difficult for anyone in this Premier League to take anything from Man City. They've won I'm pretty sure they've won all the games up to now. They're not going to lose many games. They're not going to drop points in many games, especially not to teams that are going to be around the relegation zone, which you would expect us to be. So I was just incredibly proud of the lads today, to be perfectly honest. I thought, like I said earlier, we defended very well for the most part. There were a couple of just lapses in judgment, lapses in concentration. That is the reason between us not getting a point out of this game and getting a point out of this game. But also there was some fantastic stuff in there too. Wes Foderingham had probably the best game he's had since being a Sheffield United player / goalkeeper. Made some fantastic saves. Didn't do anything wrong today. The two that he let in were impossible to save. There were no chance of Wes getting anywhere near either of them. Made a fantastic save in the first half against Alvarez that took a deflection off an L and dropped perfectly for Alvarez. He should have really put that away. But Wes made himself really big and made a great save with his right arm to kind of deflect it wide. He also made a fantastic save in the second half, 1-on-1 against Haaland, where he tried to dink it over him. But he made a good save. I think they might have hit the post once or twice as well. They went really close on a couple of occasions. Haaland putting the ball just past the post with his right foot when the ball got knocked into the box. I think it was by Walker. So many times where they could have scored goals today, but we kept them at bay. They also had a goal disallowed early on for offside, I believe it was. It was a bit sloppy from our point of view, but doesn't matter. Didn't count. That's all that matters. They obviously got the penalty, which Haaland missed. Am I blaming Egan for this? I'm not really sure where he's going to put his arm. When you're sliding down like that, you can't have your arm down by your side because you would lose your balance and you'd be like a penguin. Like, that can't happen. You can't do that. So it was a penalty, but it's very harsh because what is Egan supposed to do there? So that's I suppose all the defenders made mistakes today. The one where Haaland was put through and tried to chip Wes, and L lost him. Egan obviously made that mistake for the penalty. Jack Robinson got beaten in the air by Haaland for their first goal. George Baldock got beaten by Grealish to knock the ball in for that goal. And then Larouci makes an absolute pig's ear of it at the back stick for their winning goal. So if none of them happen, we don't even concede one goal, never mind 2 goals. But obviously, Jack Grealish getting past George Baldock in that second half and getting a really good ball into the box. I've watched this back, right? And an L stood at one side of Grealish. Baldock stood at the other side of Grealish. Now, Grealish shouldn't get past unless he does something incredible or passes it off. Grealish shouldn't get past those two. But Anel's doing the right thing. He stood there stopping Grealish getting onto his right foot. And George should be watching him on his left foot. Now, I love George to bits, don't get me wrong. But George does get done on that left hand side and he clips in a spectacular ball just onto Haaland's head. But Anel's doing his job. George needs to make sure that Grealish can't get down that side on his left and clip it into the box. Clearly, he can cross the ball with his left foot. We should have been watching both sides. There's a lot of players, like for instance, Bernardo Silva, can only stand on his right foot. Watching him today, every single time he was going back onto his left, back onto his left. Who else were there now? There were a few players that just cannot use their other foot, and Grealish clearly can, clipping that ball into the box. Haaland got the run on Jack Robinson. He clearly didn't know where Haaland was, and he steamed in at the back stick. Bang. To be honest, anybody marking Haaland at the back post are going to struggle because he is a big, strong boy, very, very tall, very physical, and Haaland will do anything to try and get his head on the ball. And we're thinking, yeah, that's probably it. I was hoping that we were going to at least have a few attacks and try and get back into the game. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want to see us lose 3-4-5-0, but I still wanted us to come out and just give it a go, give it a bit of a go. And we brought on Ollie McBurney and we brought on Jayden Bogle, and wow, did they make a difference? They did. Obviously, Jayden Bogle gets the goal. What a fantastic finish, by the way. It could have been offside. There was a hint of offside because Ollie McBurney is not in the line of the goalkeeper. When the goalkeeper's diving, I think Ollie McBurney puts the goalkeeper off diving, to be perfectly honest. He's diving and then he's like, kind of like, oh, there's a man in front of me. So I don't think I think he slightly put him off. I don't think it is an offside, but he's slightly putting the goalkeeper off. He's not in his eye line. He's just putting the goalkeeper off diving. And I think that's what happens. And that's how that ends up in the corner. I think if Ollie McBurney's not stood there, I think Edison could at least get a hand on it, if not save it. But it's a fantastic strike from Jayden Bogle. And I think Kyle Walker was really, really annoyed with himself because this goal happens because Kyle Walker tries to be a bit pretty and tries to backheel the ball to his player. And he backheels it straight to Benny. I think it's either Benny Traore or Larouci, one of the two. I think it was Larouci actually, and he fires it into Hamer in the middle of the box. All it needed was a tap across to him, and he has a good shot there, or as a shot on target, in my opinion. But he hits it kind of behind him and too hard. It ricochets. I think it ends up at Vinny Souza, and he knocks it out wide. And Bogle, great touch out of his feet, great finish. And it's been a bit sad for Bogle because he's struggled for a while now. Last season, I think he had one really, really good game for the Blades. But he had a lot of time where he wasn't injured last season, Bogle, and he still didn't challenge Bulldog at all for his shirt. But he might be now. I know it's only one game, and I know he's only come on for kind of 20 minutes or something like that, and caused problems and obviously scored a goal. I've got to give a big, big, big shout out to Ollie McBurney as well. I thought Ollie McBurney was fantastic when he came on, won everything in the air, was bringing the ball down, was bringing players into the game. I thought Benny Traore looked loads better with Ollie McBurney on the pitch. And obviously, Ollie McBurney's thinking, Cameron Archer's in now. I need to make sure that I am number one striker on the team sheet. Now, I think Cameron Archer will be number one striker on the team sheet, but he will be up front with Ollie McBurney if Ollie McBurney keeps playing like this. And I think the main thing is just staying fit because that's what McBurney struggled with. He's been a really last season. He had a big stretch of playing really well, and then he got injured again, and it's really, really annoying for him, I bet, and annoying for the fans, and annoying for Hecky that he keeps getting injured. But hopefully, on that, I think that he could be a big, big part of this season. Ollie McBurney, obviously coming on and against the best team in the world, making their defenders look ordinary, to be honest. So yeah, big shout out to Ollie McBurney for coming on and doing what he did. I also thought, and I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me, Hal disagreed with me on messages earlier on. I seem to think that when Larouci comes on, he just offers us something going forward. I think his 1-2s are great. I think he just offers he's a live wire. He just offers us something different. I can't put my finger on it. He's very, very good at pressing. He's very good at intercepting passes. And I think that's what it is. When players seem to maybe when he starts the game, maybe he's not as effective. But when players are playing lazy passes and he can jump in and nick it, then I think that's what he's really, really good at. And maybe we might use him as that this season. He's not a great defender. And he showed that for their winning goal. And it was really, really poor from him. And I was singing his praises because I was the first person to say, I don't think he's good enough. I saw him play a few times, once in real life against Rotherham. And yeah, I thought he was hopeless. And then he came on against Forest, and I was giving him lots of plaudits because he deserved it. And the thing is, I think um, what you've got to do, too many fans hold grudges against players, and it's ridiculous, especially when they're your own. I got a lot of stick for giving McBurney praise, and I think actually, if because I was giving McBurney stick because he deserved it a couple of seasons ago, um, but I think the biggest thing for a person to do is admit when someone who they've given a lot of stick to in the past is starting to play well. And straight away, I was thinking, do you know what, Larouche? Maybe he's not as bad as what I thought, but then he did a shocking, shocking thing. Bernardo Silva ball into the box. It's an overhit ball. Haaland springs at it, just misses it. And then Larouci just needs to fire it into the crowd, fire it upfield, do whatever. And he just tried to let it go out. Kyle Walker is obviously twice as strong as him, just gets round him, keeps the ball in, and Larouci just falls to the ground. Kyle Walker fires the ball into the box. I'm not sure who it is. I think it might have been Foden, takes a bit of a touch that fell perfectly to Rodri. And let's be honest, he just has a slash at it, doesn't it? Like Rodri scored a lot of good goals for Man City. Don't get me wrong. This one's on his left foot. It's bouncing. He just slashes at it and hopes for the best. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a good strike. I think he's hit it perfectly. That's how he wanted to hit it. But I'd seen him hit so many terrible, terrible shots today. And I was saying to my mate, or I was sat next to you, and I said that he if all we're doing is letting Rodri shoot from distance, that's absolutely fine for me. This wasn't from distance. This was in the box. So he's obviously got a better chance of scoring because he's closer to the goal. But it is a bit of a slash that's ended up in the top corner. I think if he hits that another 5 times, maybe 4 of them fly wide. Maybe 2 out of 6 that ends up in the back of the net or at least on target. I think 4 out of 6 end up in the stands. So it's just one of them things. It really, John, it reminded me of, and I don't know whether it was because of the how good the strike was or whether it was because it was late on. It reminded me of Harvey Barnes for Leicester when he hit an absolute peach of a shot against us and they beat us 2-1 at Bramall Lane the first season in the Premier League. It had nothing like it. Don't get me wrong, nothing like it. It just felt like he just hit that ball perfectly, exactly how he wanted to, and it ended up in the back of the net. It just sometimes happens to teams when they just need that point or need something from the game, and someone hits a peach of a shot into the bottom corner, into the top corner. It's just one of them things. And like I said, if he hits that another few times, it probably doesn't end up in the far corner. But we were fantastic, and we nearly went and scored another goal with an L. I think it was McBurney down the right hand side. Clips the ball to the back stick, and from where I was sat, I could not figure out if this was a good chance or not. I spoke to my dad after the game. He said if he goes with his head, he's got a lot better chance of scoring, but he seems to go for a right-footed scissor kick. So head, better chance of scoring. Left foot, better chance of scoring. Right foot didn't really get much of a connection on it. And obviously, having spoken to Anel on this channel, he is a big fan of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So maybe he was channeling his inner Zlatan and it didn't quite work for him. But it just shows that even at 2-1 down, we were still going for that. And I don't know, it just felt like it gave us that massive bit of confidence, Jaden scoring that fantastic goal. And I hope that gives us that confidence for the rest of the season because we deserve it. I thought we were fantastic against Forest in that kind of middle part of the game. And I thought we were really, really good today all the way through. Like I said, 5 defenders made errors today, which either ended up in causing us problems or nearly ended up causing us problems. So hopefully we get these things sorted out. My voice, it's actually recovered because after scoring that goal, Jaden scoring that goal, my voice was on its backside. It really was. And you know what? I nearly wrote something on Twitter and I didn't write it because I knew I was going to get stick. So I wrote something similar, and I was going to say, and I'll be honest with you, I was going to say I'd rather us lose 2-1 against Man City today and have that incredible Jaden Bogle moment than draw 0-0. And the moment was incredible. It really was. I really, really enjoyed that moment. And football's all about moments, isn't it? And Jaden Bogle scoring that goal, getting us off his feet. Because at the end of the day, people who don't watch football or don't watch sport and can't get into it, I don't get, because these are the moments that you've got to cherish. And these are the moments that you'll remember for the rest of your life. I'll remember that goal for a long time. I really will. And how we celebrated it. It were just fantastic. And actually, us drawing 0-0 against Man City, don't get me wrong, that will give us a hell of a lot of confidence going into the next game. But actually scoring a goal against Man City, how we did, that might actually give us more confidence. So it might have given us a point drawing 0-0 with Man City if we'd have just kind of kept them out. But scoring a goal, yes, we conceded 2, but 2 against Man City isn't bad. And scoring a goal certainly will give us a lot of confidence going forward in forward areas. And especially with Cameron Archer coming in, it's a really exciting time. A couple of other things I wanted to mention before we get into the comments. James McAtee getting an absolutely fantastic ovation from the Blades fans. I'm sure he'll remember that for the rest of his life, because I could see that it looked like he had a smile on his face, and he really, really enjoyed that. So big shout out to all Blades fans for giving him such a great cheer. And I was sat on Gangway G today, funnily enough, and that was right in front of where he was kind of warming up and stuff, and I could tell that he enjoyed that. So hopefully us giving him that kind of that applause and that praise and that just recognition for last season and thanking him for all that. Hopefully that'll make him want to come back to Bramall Lane in the future, whether that be this season and we get him on loan, or whether that is just in the future, because we've obviously got a lot of love for James McAtee. The other thing's a bit of a negative, so I'll just quickly say it now. I obviously, when Man City, I was right next to the Man City fans, and it just must be rubbish being a Man City fan. It just must be. And I know there's a lot of people out there being like, Nick, what are you on about? They win every game. They won the treble last season. No one cares. Like, I didn't feel like I wanted to give Man City grief, because what's the point? We're playing a different sport to Man City, aren't we? Let's be honest. And their fans going away to kind of us, Brentford, Palace, whoever else, and giving them grief. It's like, he's serious. Like, you're giving us grief because you've scored a goal against a team that's just got promoted to the Premier League. Like, I'm seeing them giving you all the gestures as they do, and I'm just there sitting thinking, are you all right, you guys? It's just not the same. Us giving Forest banter, them giving us banter back, I understand it. But Liverpool, Man City, these sorts of teams, Arsenal, they can't give us banter because we're not playing the same sport, are we? Let's be honest. They are the amount of money that's in football and the players that they've got compared to us is just night and day. So there's no banter. There's just no they can't have banter with us. We can't really have banter back unless we scored a goal as we did, and we're going to give them some, because they should be winning every single game of football. And could you imagine going into a game expecting to win every single match and then coming away and just drawing? That must be devastating. So, yeah, I'm glad we're a little bit of a yo-yo team at the moment, because I couldn't imagine us winning the league every single season. It just must get so boring. Anyway, maybe that's me being a little bit petty, having lost to Man City, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyway, we'll run through some of these comments. We've got loads of comments, so thank you very much, guys. Thank you very, very much. So keep them coming in. I'll quickly run through some now. New song for Wes. League One Wes Oh no, it's not. Oh, that's a different song. Sorry, we were singing League One Wes My Lord, and my mate were like, "I've never heard that one before." I'm like, "We've definitely sung it more than once." Um, why do we always lose in the last minutes? Frustrating, isn't it? But we scored in the 85th, didn't we? So um, I think at one point I'm like, we're bound to concede. We're bound to concede. We're not going to get a point against Man City. No way. Um, the term legendary does not apply to Wes. We need a new name. Legendary. Okay, Jimmy. I think you've had a few to drink, mate. I think you need to calm yourself down. Andrew, that's what we need to work 100%. Once we get a goal back, we need to keep the mentality of not losing the point and not have our egos go sky high. Maybe so. Kyle Whittam, absolute legend. Lots of points to take once again. Absolutely, mate. One of the biggest points is getting Cameron Archer through the door. There you go. Cal Whittam was messaging me on Twitter, my mate, saying, "Where's Cameron Archer? Where's Cameron Archer? We're definitely not signing him. Definitely not signing him." Well, he's signed. He's through the door. He's got his Sheff United shirt. He's playing archery. Playing archery. He's doing archery on the pitch and all that jazz, and still couldn't hit the bullseye. Anyway, um, one of their players is worth more than our club. Disappointed in Kyle breaking the board, and he played like he supported the pigs. Nah, he's obviously going to want to beat us. That's his mentality. That's why he's so good. I don't know if he broke a board. He must have done if you're saying that he broke a board, but I didn't know what that is. So let us know in the comments. If he puts out for a throw in, in Rosed was stood. Yeah, absolutely. I think if he does put that out for a throw in, I don't think we do concede, to be honest. But yeah, that's in hindsight, isn't it? I'm actually cross. Heaven knows how, but we managed to pull an equaliser out of the bag, and Man City looked nervous. And yet we allowed ourselves to get carried away with a possible point and City pounds. I don't know if we did get carried away because I still think we defended well. It was just a silly thing from Larouci to do. We showed grit and determination. We move on to next week with positives and a lot of them. Do you know what? Do you know what? I don't want the Everton game to be a must win. It's not. It's right at the start of the season, but we need to win, don't we? We need something on the board at least. A draw, 3 points, something. We need it. Brilliant effort. Showed we are no pushover. Every general Premier League viewer would have predicted us to get thrashed. Need to perform like that most weeks. 3 points versus Everton is a must. And I did say that. I said that in the predictions video. I didn't think we were going to get hammered in this game. I thought we'd defend well, but I thought we would get undone by some brilliant play. And we sort of did. But also, we sort of got undone by our bad defending too. Right, okay. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on in the comments. So here we go. Use one of the domestic loans to bring in another wing back or pull another from the continent. That's an urgent position to fill. I think Hecky got it wrong, which I don't say often, Nick, with Larouche. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think he did a silly thing, and I don't think he'll do it again. I think that's what it is. They all make silly decisions, all make silly uh do silly actions. They just do sometimes. And yeah, I think he just did a silly today. Matt saying, as soon as McBurney came on, we looked a lot more confident going forward. Going to be Everton 3-1. Hit it here first. Absolutely, Matt. I am with you, mate. Corruption, the Premier League as its best today. Game changer, bring McBurney on and bash. Let's have a little chat. I don't want to talk too long. I don't want to stay on this video for too long, but let's have a little chat about the referee because I thought the referee was shocking today. I think every time they went down, they got it. The referee at one point had his whistle in his mouth before their player even got touched. And then there were a few where we got nothing, quite a few. And I think towards the end, he started giving us odd ones that weren't even fouls. So I think the referee was awful today. He got the penalty decision right because it is. But at the same time, I thought all the little decisions that he made were really, really poor, or a lot of them were really, really poor. John thinks that McAtee is coming in next week. I hope so too. Larouci does look like a winger trying to defend, and that's what he was, Andy. He was a winger that has been turned into a left back or a left wing back. Up the Blades. Man City struggled today with our shape. Grealish is so overrated. League One Wes man of the match for me. Little old Sheff United nearly embarrassed City. Too right, mate. Too right. I think that's the hardest City I've had to work all season. I think you're right. There's some terrible Man City people in the or Man City fans in the comments. There really is. Oh, it's embarrassing. There's too many. There's too many. Um, Everton is a 6-pointer, Kieran. You're absolutely right, mate. I've said it once. I'll say it again. We don't need a new keeper. I think Jim Bob. I think that's what we've seen today, haven't we? He was fantastic. Um, oh, I'll just move on. I'll just move on from all these weird comments. Love the channel. McBurney definitely made a difference when he came on. Cracking game from West too. Absolutely, Brad. Absolutely. McBurney was fantastic when he came on. McBurney coming on was a game changer. Can't have kids up front in the Premier League. Too right. Hal's here. Should Kyle Walker have to pay for that advertising board he broke? I didn't see this, Hal. Must be able to see it on the TV, but I didn't see it. I don't know when that happened. I'm assuming that happened when they scored the second goal. Let us know. Nick Bogle's goal touch the City defense. Did it, Keith? Did it? I've watched that back and I didn't see that, but well, maybe. Fair enough. If you say so, absolutely. Have liked and subscribed. Thank you very much. Good luck with your channel. Thank you, Ian. Really appreciate that, mate. Booked Egan, and it wasn't even a foul. He also booked Willasula, and that looked like Willasula got brought down. I think my dad said to me that on the TV, he got brought down, and I think that their player went down holding his face, and that's why he got booked, Willasula. But none of us around me knew why Willasula, first of all, gave away a free kick, and secondly, got booked for it. It was crazy. Hi, guys. I am a Darlington FC fan. We were made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012, demoted 4 leagues. We are currently part of a fan-owned National League North. We've had 3 promotions today. Well done. Well done to Darlington FC. Very, very well done. Just got into, I'm not that gutted. To be fair, we had him rattled for 4 minutes. Very, very good. I like that. I like that a lot. Archer McBurney going to smash it. Then Traore on for the last 20 minutes with his speed. Wow, lethal. I think Traore coming on as a sub will be very, very good for us. Very, very good. Not the score we wanted, but something to build on, and hopefully we can go on and get some points on the board. Why are we getting so many injuries, dropping like flies? Absolutely right. And Hallie's clearing. Kyle kicked the hoarding after we scored. Oh, because he backheeled it, didn't he, to LaRucci? Right. There we go. That sorts that out. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Yeah, it's one of them days. Very, very proud that the Blades played so well today. For the majority of that game, the Blades played really, really well. Switched off a couple of times. Man City definitely kind of they didn't take the chances, did they? But then when it counted, they did. So I'm very proud of the boys today. They played really, really well. I am expecting a lot more from this team as we go on into this season. We're not expecting to take points off Man City and these big clubs anyway, so let's not worry too much about it. If we'd have lost 1-0 or 2-0, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But the fact that we got the goal back and it was 1-1 in the 85th minute, I think we're all a little bit disappointed. But you can't be disappointed losing against Man City. We pushed them all the way. And yeah, they deserve a lot of credit and a lot of praise from today. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave a like before you go and subscribe to the channel, obviously. And we will see you very, very soon.